Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really fascinating chapter that tackles something we literally spend the vast majority of our waking hours doing, our professional lives. We're going to unpack the deep differences between simply working to pay the bills and building a deeply fulfilling career. And, to kick things off, I want to share this incredibly powerful metaphor from our source text that just perfectly sets the stage. Imagine you're walking down a dusty, sun-baked road, and you come across three men doing the exact same exhausting task.
So you walk up to the first man. He's sweating out there under the hot sun, just smashing boulders with a heavy hammer. You ask him, "Hey, what are you doing?" He looks at you, wipes his brow, and tells you he's just breaking rocks into smaller pieces because it's his job. He views his work as merely a physical task done for its own sake, right? It's a pure transaction of time and energy. Nothing more.
Now, you walk a little further down the road and ask the second man, who is swinging the exact same hammer at the exact same type of rock. But his answer completely shifts the perspective. He tells you he's breaking rocks to make a living and feed his family. So he views this identical task as a means of survival. It's a necessity to meet basic needs and sustain his family's lifestyle. He isn't just breaking rocks, he's putting food on the table. Finally, you approach the third man. Same hammer, same rock, but his eyes are just alight with purpose. He gives you this profound answer. He has a vision to become a sculptor, so he's carving a statue out of the big stone. This brilliantly illustrates how having a vision completely transforms simple manual labor into a stepping stone for an actual career. He literally sees the future masterpiece inside that stone. So before we go any further, I want you to ask yourself, which rock breaker do you relate to the most right now in your own professional life? To help you figure that out, we've got a fantastic roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start by defining the difference between a job, a livelihood, and a career, and then look at finding meaningful work. Next, we'll dive into a truly incredible real-world case study of empowerment with LIVELIHOOD. After that, we'll cover the essential soft skills you need to succeed, explore ethics, dignity, and ergonomics, and finally wrap up with the entrepreneurial path. Let's jump right in. Section 1. Job, livelihood, or career. So before we can really analyze how to improve our professional lives, we absolutely need to get our definition straight. The words job and career are thrown around interchangeably all the time, right? But there is a stark contrast between them. A job is just involvement in work for the sake of it, or mainly to earn money. You clock in, you clock out, you get paid. A career, on the other hand, is driven by a deep desire to excel, a passionate need to grow, and importantly, it demands continuous learning. In the modern world, having a true career means your education doesn't just stop in your 20s. It continues through your middle and even later years as you constantly upgrade your skills. Moving on to Section 2. Finding meaningful work. If a career is all about continuous growth and passion, how do we make sure the work we're doing actually matters to us? Well, our source text formally defines meaningful work not just by what you get out of it, but what you put into the world. It must be useful to society, done responsibly, and honestly, it needs to be enjoyable to the worker. When you engage in meaningful work, it actually builds your sense of identity. It instills confidence, and it gives you dignity. It's the kind of work that allows you to really showcase your specific skills, creativity, and problem-solving abilities. The really crucial part here is applying this directly to your own life. Ask yourself these essential questions for self-exploration. Is your current work stimulating and challenging? Does it give you a sense of being useful? Are you actually contributing to society? And importantly, are the ethos and environment suitable to you? If you're answering no to a lot of these, well, you might be stuck in a job rather than building a career. Section 3. Real-world empowerment. LIVELIHOOD. Now, finding meaningful work isn't just an individual journey. It can transform entire communities. The chapter provides an absolute masterclass in this with the case study of Shri Mahila Griha Udyog, LIVELIHOOD. This is an incredible story of an organization of, by, and for women aimed at providing a dignified livelihood. Get this, it started back in 1959 with just 7 members. By 1966, it was registered and officially recognized as a village industry. And today, they've expanded from their famous papads to include things like khakra, detergent, and bakery goods. And the result of all that growth? An annual sales turnover of 1,600 crores. That number is absolutely staggering. But what makes it truly meaningful is that this immense scale was achieved while providing a dignified, self-reliant livelihood to 45,000 members across India. That is just incredible. It's the ultimate proof that meaningful, cooperative work can achieve monumental commercial success. Section 4. The essential soft skills. So how do you actually execute at a high level in your own career? Well, that requires some specific competencies. Let's rapid fire through some of the essential soft skills the text outlines that really differentiate a career-minded individual from someone just doing a job. First up is working productively. This isn't just about cranking out output. It's about applying zeal, dynamism, and cultivating really effective habits. Second is learning effectively. Like we talked about earlier, continuous learning is the hallmark of a career. You've got to read, write, and continually update your knowledge. Third is communicating clearly. You must be able to precisely convey your ideas and info through writing, speaking, and let's not forget, listening. Continuing on that list, we have working cooperatively. This means solving conflicts, offering support, and building up team spirit, just like we saw with the Legit Papad model. Then there's thinking critically. You must apply analytical thinking, innovation, and creativity to the problems you face. And finally, there's a whole blend of other vital skills like multitasking, empathy, tactfulness, and having visionary forethought. Listen, these aren't just corporate buzzwords. These are the actual, tangible tools that build the sculptor from our opening metaphor. Section 5. Ethics, Dignity, and Ergonomics. Having skills is one thing, for sure, but how we view work and treat others is equally crucial. The text grounds the concept of dignity of labor in a really powerful idea. Every single human being, through their share of work, contributes to society, and because of that, they deserve respect, regardless of their position or wealth. Whether that work is paid, unpaid, volunteering, or caregiving, it all matters. It's absolutely a core ethical pillar of a healthy professional world. And, this respect extends to our physical environment as well. Enter the concept of ergonomics. It actually comes from the Greek words ergon, meaning work, and nomics, meaning natural laws. It's the study of work to adapt the work environment directly to the worker. So instead of forcing the human to awkwardly adapt to the machine or the desk, ergonomics changes the tools and methods to fit us. It's a complete paradigm shift aimed at optimizing both our well-being and our performance. Section 6. The entrepreneurial path. So we've talked about jobs, careers, and the environments we work in, but for some people, the ultimate expression of meaningful work is blazing their very own trail through entrepreneurship. It's highly rewarding, but man, it is incredibly challenging. To be a successful entrepreneur, you must have the courage to take calculated risks. You need the ability to handle many tasks simultaneously, deal with really tough issues and crises, and cope with setbacks and failures along the way. It also requires a knack for developing partnerships and networking. This path is exactly what the third rock breaker, the one embodying the vision of the statue, truly represents. And that brings us to the conclusion of our explainer today. We've explored the difference between a job and a career, the necessity of meaningful work, and the various paths to get there. But ultimately, the journey begins with you. The source text poses this profound, highly personal question that I want to leave you with. What are my special talents, traits, and interests vis-a-vis an occupation? Take some time today to look inward and really answer that for yourself. It could change everything. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning and keep growing.